What if I told you that Dorothy, a 71-year-old retired librarian from Portland, stopped her Alzheimer's progression by eating 7 walnuts every single morning? Dorothy's family was devastated. She'd forget her grandchildren's names, get lost driving to familiar places, and repeat the same question 5 times in 10 minutes. Her neurologist prepared the family for the worst. Her cognitive decline is aggressive, the doctor explained. We need to consider full-time care within the year. But Dorothy's daughter, Susan, a nutritionist, refused to accept this fate. She remembered reading something extraordinary, a Harvard study that followed over 200,000 people for 20 years, discovering that those who ate walnuts 5 times a week had a 25% lower risk of neurodegenerative diseases. "What do we have to lose?" Susan asked her mother. Dorothy started eating a handful of walnuts every morning. What happened next shocked her neurologist so much that he now recommends walnuts to all his patients. Today, I'll reveal the 10 transformations that happened to Dorothy, and why walnuts might be the most powerful superfood you've never taken seriously. The 10 walnut transformations. 10th transformation, the bone strength miracle. Before we get to Dorothy's brain transformation, let me tell you about Richard, a 68-year-old carpenter from Denver who broke his wrist for the 2nd time in 3 years. "Your bone density is dangerously low," his doctor warned. "Another fall could be catastrophic." Richard's wife started adding walnuts to his morning oatmeal, about 30 grams daily. Walnuts are loaded with magnesium, a crucial mineral for bone health that most people over 60 are deficient in. 6 months later, Richard's bone density scan showed a 9% improvement. His doctor had never seen natural bone regeneration like this in someone his age. Richard's back to building furniture in his workshop, no longer afraid of every step he takes. 9th transformation, the memory restoration. Now back to Dorothy's story. Her transformation started subtly. After 2 weeks of eating walnuts daily, she started remembering to turn off the stove again. Small, but significant. Here's the science. Walnuts contain more omega-3 fatty acids than any other nut. These fatty acids are the building blocks your brain uses to create new neural connections and repair damaged ones. Ever notice how walnuts look like tiny brains? That's nature's hint. The wrinkled shape mirrors the cerebral cortex, and the benefits are just as remarkable. By week 4, Dorothy could remember her grandchildren's names without hesitation. By week 8, she was beating her daughter at Scrabble, something she hadn't done in 2 years. Her neurologist ran new cognitive tests and couldn't believe the results. Her decline had not just stopped, it had reversed. 8th transformation, the cholesterol controller. Meet Frank, a 62-year-old from Boston, whose cholesterol was dangerously high at 280. His doctor threatened to triple his medication dosage. Frank's sister convinced him to try walnuts instead of his usual afternoon cookies. Just 1 handful, about 14 walnut halves, replaced his daily snack. Walnuts are packed with unsaturated fats, the good kind that actually lower your bad cholesterol while raising your good cholesterol. Within 3 months, Frank's total cholesterol dropped to 210. His LDL bad cholesterol decreased by 23%. His cardiologist asked what he'd changed. When Frank said walnuts, the doctor laughed until he saw the lab results. Now he keeps a jar of walnuts in his office. 7th transformation, the skin, rejuvenation. Barbara, a 58-year-old yoga instructor from Miami, spent hundreds of dollars monthly on anti-aging creams. Her skin was dull, lined with deep wrinkles, and aging faster than she could accept. Her dermatologist suggested something unexpected. Eat walnuts daily instead of expensive treatments. Walnuts contain powerful antioxidants and vitamin E that fight free radicals from the inside out. Think of them as internal skincare that actually works. Barbara committed to eating walnuts every morning. Within 6 weeks, her students started asking what new treatment she was using. Her skin had a natural glow, her wrinkles had softened, and her complexion looked 10 years younger. "I spent thousands on creams," Barbara laughs now. "All I needed was a $3 bag of walnuts." Sixth transformation: the weight loss paradox. Here's something that shocked Janet, a 65-year-old from Seattle. She lost 18 pounds by adding walnuts to her diet, not removing food. "Wait," Janet said to her nutritionist. "Aren't nuts fattening?" Here's the paradox. While walnuts are calorie-dense, they're so packed with fiber and protein that they keep you full for hours. Janet would eat a handful mid-morning and suddenly wasn't ravenous by lunch anymore. She stopped the constant snacking, the afternoon cookie binges, and the late-night refrigerator raids. The walnuts satisfied her body's real needs, not just her cravings. 18 pounds in 5 months without feeling deprived once. Her secret weapon? 7 walnuts at 10 o'clock every morning. Fifth transformation: the immunity fortress. Paul, a 73-year-old from Chicago, caught every cold, every flu, every bug that came through his community center. He was sick at least once a month, spending more time recovering than living. His daughter, a nurse, suggested walnuts for their high vitamin E content. Vitamin E is your immune system's shield, protecting cells from damage and inflammation. Paul started eating walnuts daily. That winter, typically his worst season, he didn't get sick once. Not a single cold. His friends at the community center were amazed. "What's your secret?" they asked. Paul showed them his pocket container of walnuts. Now half his card game group carries them too. Fourth transformation: the heart saver. Remember Dorothy? Her memory wasn't the only thing that improved. Her cardiologist noticed something remarkable during her routine checkup. Her blood pressure had dropped from 145/90 to 120/78. Walnuts contain alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that reduces inflammation in blood vessels and improves blood flow. It's like giving your cardiovascular system a tune-up with every handful. A Harvard study proved this. People eating walnuts 5 times weekly had a 25% lower risk of heart disease death. That's more effective than many medications, with 0 side effects. Dorothy's heart became as strong as her recovering mind. Third transformation: the digestive healer. Margaret, a 69-year-old from San Diego, suffered from chronic constipation and bloating that made every day uncomfortable. She'd tried every probiotic and fiber supplement on the market. Her gastroenterologist suggested walnuts for their high fiber content, about 2 grams per ounce. But it's not just any fiber. It's prebiotic fiber that feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Within 2 weeks, Margaret's digestive system normalized. No more bloating, no more discomfort, no more embarrassing urgency. Just smooth, healthy digestion. "My gut finally works like it did in my 40s, Margaret says. All from a handful of walnuts daily. Second transformation: the sleep miracle. Dorothy's daughter, Susan, noticed something unexpected. Her mother was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. "I haven't slept this well since I was 50, Dorothy told her. Here's why. Walnuts are one of the few natural food sources of melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep cycle. They also contain magnesium and tryptophan, both of which promote relaxation and deeper sleep. Thomas, a 70-year-old from Austin with severe insomnia, started eating 6 walnuts an hour before bed. Within a week, he was sleeping 6 hours straight, something he hadn't done in a decade. First transformation: the inflammation fighter. This is the most powerful benefit and the one that ties all the others together. Walnuts are inflammation assassins. Chronic inflammation is the silent killer behind Alzheimer's, arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. It's aging's accelerator. Dorothy's inflammation markers, measured through a blood test called C-reactive protein, dropped by 42% after 3 months of daily walnut consumption. This reduction in inflammation is what allowed her brain to heal, her heart to strengthen, and her body to rejuvenate. The polyphenols and antioxidants in walnuts don't just reduce inflammation, they prevent it from starting in the first place. The science that changed everything. Dorothy's neurologist was so impressed that he dove into the research. Here's what he found. The Harvard School of Public Health study followed over 200,000 people for up to 20 years. Those who ate at least a handful of nuts 5 times weekly had dramatically lower rates of heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers, and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Walnuts specifically stood out for their exceptionally high omega-3 content and unique polyphenol profile. The research showed that regular walnut consumption could extend healthy lifespan by years, not just months. I've been a neurologist for 30 years, Dorothy's doctor now says. I've never seen anything as effective as walnuts for cognitive health. I eat them every morning now. How to add walnuts to your life. Dorothy's winning routine is simple. Morning power bowl. She adds 7 walnut halves to her morning oatmeal with blueberries and honey. This combination is brain food at its finest. Lunch boost. A mixed green salad with walnuts, cranberries, and goat cheese. The walnuts replace croutons. More nutrition, better crunch. Afternoon energy. Instead of cookies or chips, Dorothy keeps a small container of walnuts in her purse. 7 to 10 walnut halves satisfy her snack craving while boosting her brain. Dinner. Delight. Dorothy's favorite discovery is walnut pesto. She blends walnuts with fresh basil, olive oil, garlic, and parmesan. It's delicious on pasta, chicken, or vegetables. Evening ritual. 6 walnuts an hour before bed help her sleep deeply through the night. The perfect portion, 28 grams daily, about 7 whole walnuts or 14 halves. That's the sweet spot for maximum benefits. Dorothy's complete transformation. 18 months after starting her walnut routine, Dorothy's life is unrecognizable. Cognitive function improved by 65% on standardized tests. Memory sharp enough to volunteer at the library again, no longer needs Alzheimer's medication. Blood pressure normalized. Cholesterol in healthy range. Lost 12 pounds naturally, sleeping 7 hours nightly. Skin looks 10 years younger. Energy levels of someone in her 50s. The neurologist told my family to prepare for nursing home care, Dorothy recalls. Now I'm planning a trip to Italy with my grandchildren. Walnuts gave me my life back. Your walnut action plan. Tomorrow morning, buy a bag of raw, unsalted walnuts. Start with 7 walnut halves with your breakfast. Notice your energy and focus by mid-morning. Week 1. Eat walnuts 5 days this week. Track how you feel. Your memory, energy, digestion, sleep quality. Week 2. Add walnuts to different meals. Find what works for your routine. Long term. Make walnuts a permanent part of your daily diet. Your brain, heart, and body will thank you for decades to come. Storage tip. Keep walnuts in the refrigerator or freezer to prevent them from going rancid. They'll last up to a year frozen. Quality matters. Choose raw or lightly roasted walnuts without added salt or sugar. Organic when possible. Conclusion. Dorothy's neurologist now opens every lecture with her story. If walnuts could do this for one patient, he tells medical students, imagine what they could do for millions. Dorothy's message to you: don't wait for a crisis like I did. Start today. 7 walnuts every morning might just save your brain, your heart, and your future. What transformation would walnuts bring to your life? Share your thoughts below. If Dorothy's story inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe for more evidence-based health transformations. Remember, inside every walnut shell is the key to a healthier, sharper, longer life. Your transformation starts with cracking one open tomorrow morning. This is for educational purposes only. Consult your healthcare provider before making dietary changes.